Hello, I'm Katherine Corp.
And I'm Kimberly Corp.
And we're the owners of Pilates on 5th here in Manhattan and the creators of PilatesOn5thOnline.com. Today, we'd like to tell you that, newsflash, Pilates is not a competitive sport. Who knew? So we're going to give you a few examples of if you have a strong person or a flexible person next to you and you're trying to compete with them, why you shouldn't. So we're first going to use the hundreds.
Yes.
So I, Katherine, in purple, I'm going to play strong, not flexible client. Kimberly in lily pad is going to play flexible, not strong client. So obviously you all who watch these know that we're pretty even. So we're acting. Tell us how we do. Alrighty then. So let's say hundreds commence, and I'm going to go ahead and curl up. Let's say I have my legs really low. I'm going, and she's trying to compete with me, and we're on the 9th set or whatever. Look at what her back is doing. If she's not strong enough, it would be much better for her to either lift her legs, or if even that's not working, to bend the knees. So that's number one.
So the thing is that if you find your back arching, you are never going to get stronger this way.
Right.
So you absolutely must bend the knees in or raise the legs and keep them straight, either one. But you are not strengthening anything in this position.
Right, and it's probably going into your back, and then you'll say, oh, Pilates hurt my back.
Yes.
Well, Pilates didn't hurt your back.
Your
Improper technique.
execution hurt
Yes.
your back. Sorry, I had a mic pad.
No problem. So we're going to go into scissors next. So again, I'm going to be the one who's not flexible enough to do scissors like the flexible person. So we're going to go ahead and bring our legs to tabletop, lift them up. We're going to bring and lift our head and shoulders off the mat, and we're going to reach our right leg toward our face first. And reach. Now remember, I'm not flexible. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at her range. I wish my range were like that. So I'm going to pull.
So she's going to start bending her knee and wrenching her leg towards her chest.
And then look at my neck. I'm pulling my neck. And so we don't want to do that. You want to only go, even if this is your range, it doesn't matter. You can do the range just like this. All right, so we're going to go ahead and bend our knees, and we're going to roll up. So 2 other exercises we thought of to demonstrate this.
We have a whole slew. We have a whole catalog, but we're going to only do a few.
We could bore you. This could be like an hour and a half, and you'd all be like killing yourself by the end. Airplane was on the other day, sorry. So we're going to start with Swan Dive, even though we're going to do the flexible thing again. And so, same thing. Kimberly's going to be Little Miss Flexibility, who can do Swan Dive really well, and I'm going to be the person who can't do it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do that, and then I have my neck up here, and I'm lifting up. Yet don't do that to your neck. Don't ever do that to your neck. If this is the extent of your Swan Dive, it's a perfect Swan Dive. That's what the point is. The point is getting even extension throughout your spine. It's not looking at the person next to you thinking, okay, she has her arms straight, so I have to get my arms straight. She's up here, and I have to get up here. You want to make sure that you're working within your proper range.
And one thing with Pilates, it should never look like you're flailing. So even when you're new at Pilates, it should be a controlled movement.
Yes.
And once it becomes like erratic and flailing, it's probably not what the master, Mr. Pilates, had in mind.
Right, so you have to honor yourself. And that's, I think, the hardest part in a group class is it's the tendency, it's like pack mentality. You look at the people around you and you think, I should be able to do that. No, you shouldn't. You should be able to do exactly what you're meant to do at that time.
The funniest one, though, is rolling like a ball, because that's very hard to compete with a person next to you on, because you're either doing it or you're not.
Right.
And you can't really make yourself, like if you're off and you use too much momentum, then you're like rolling way too far backwards, and then if you're flinging yourself forward. So that's actually the funniest one as an instructor, is to see people looking at the person next to them and then frantically moving all over the place.
Indeed. So the last exercise we're going to show again, I'm playing stronger, because there are people who do push-up much better than I do. But let's say, for argument's sake, I'm the strong one. She's going to be the weak one. And we're not going to bother you with the roll down and everything.
Yeah,
we're
pretend we rolled down. I didn't set the camera
straight
up on that.
here. And so watch Kimberly. We're going to do inhale, 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 bending the elbows more, and straighten. She's not strong enough to do it properly, so notice how she's trying to cheat lower to the ground by bringing her head closer to the ground.
Yes,
And
just
then-
because my nose is closer to the ground does not make that good.
Correct. So you don't want, I'm just going to do it wrong. You don't want to do this.
Right.
So a lot of times we'll cue our clients to bring their ears back in space. Just because your nose gets closer to the ground doesn't mean that the push-up is really any better.
Yes.
So that's basically just a couple of exercises demonstrated of why Pilates is not a competitive sport and why you should focus on technique.
And in our description below, we've linked to a great blog we read recently of someone who said, an article written about competition versus perfection. Because if you're trying to be perfect, it's always a journey.
Right, and anyone who's watched any of our videos knows that we are not perfect.
And we will
try.
do a blooper reel one day. That should be very entertaining.
They're mostly of me, so we probably won't.